I was really hoping to roast some chicken today on the rotisserie spit, but there's a burn ban in Greenville County and across the whole state of South Carolina, so I can't do that. There's thousands of acres burning up where I go camping all the time. Everything's shut down up there, roads are closed, people are being evacuated. My neighbor from the second floor could see the smoke, so it's not that far away. So today I stopped by the Asian store and they had some special homemade Filipino meals. So I picked this up this morning. It's called beef pares, P-A-R-E-S, which I guess is a loan word from Spanish, which means pear. And the beef is paired with rice. Doesn't that look good? Ooh. Masarap. The beef has really got a very pleasant flavor. Usually I have a lot of footage of exciting camping scenes like collecting firewood and setting up my tent. So I needed some filler material. I figured, well, I'm gonna plant these anyway. I know it's pretty boring, but at least it's something. Several of you have mentioned in the comments how I could use a block and tackle to maybe slow down the drop of the weight, so I could possibly get more time between rewinds. So this is the top pulley. It has this arm on it, and the other pulley is down here at the bottom, which will hold the bucket of weight. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in that pulley. And also, speaking of links, I have some new merchandise, including this little patch here that I kind of designed myself with a little bit of help, and that's for sale. I don't know if you can see that. It says Camping Contraptions. So if you're into camping contraptions and maybe you've made one of these rotisserie spits with your son or your Boy Scout troop, there's a merit badge for you, something to remember the occasion and commemorate the occasion with. I really like how this yellow nylon rope glides through the rollers. It's been so long I kind of forget what's in here. It's like reopening Christmas presents again. Well, the day has finally arrived. I've got the crown wheel escapement set up in the backyard this time. Last time I tried bringing it camping and it just required so much fine tuning that it took me 2 days to set it up here. So imagine how stressful that would be at the campsite. Anyway, the crown wheel escapement was invented back in the 13th century. It is believed to have been invented in Europe and is the first mechanical escapement for clocks ever invented. The first clock towers in Europe were with this technology, a crown wheel. It's called a crown wheel escapement because the wheel looks like a crown. Another term for it is the verge escapement. This vertical pole right here with these two pallets, one up here and one down here, is called the verge. So it's also known as the verge escapement. And today I've got this set up. I'm gonna try and cook some rotisserie. You may be wondering what's under this blanket, and it's kind of a surprise, so I'm gonna have a reveal in a little while. And behind me is some chicken marinating. Magluluto ako ng lechon manok. my young Otto. Of course, it hasn't been marinating for 3 days here on the table outside. It was in the refrigerator. I just brought it out to show you. Next, I've got something brand new, made in America, to make this whole thing possible. It's time for the reveal. Ta-da! A nice platform for the Made in America Smokeless Fire Pit by Breeo. I don't know about you, but I like things made in America because it helps our own country. Now it says to have 2 people lift it up out of the box. But something tells me that you're not going to help, and there's no one else here. So there. And I guess that's for the post that holds the grill. I think I'll want it on that side. The grill attachment comes with this post, this little post, the grill, and a nice bag. So if I didn't want to use the fire pit and I just wanted to go out camping by a campfire, it looks like that's what this is for. To just stick this in the ground and then place this post right in there and then put the grill on. So that's really a nice thought for those of us who might actually bring this camping and use it over a campfire pit that comes with the campsite. But in our case, I'm just going to mount it directly onto the smokeless fire pit like that. And then this part looks like it goes right over like that. Now I'm going to have my fire pretty low because I want this chicken to cook very slowly throughout the day. And when I'm ready, I could just swing this over there. If I just wanted it partially over the fire, I could do that. I could cool things over here. That's really a great design. Now I'll just chop a little kindling from these pieces here. And in the background, if you notice, there's a tripod, and that is to use to suspend a weight that will drive the escapement. Since I don't have any trees in my backyard, it's a new house in an HOA community, so you know they usually cut down all the trees. So I do have this hill behind me, which I could use to my advantage in the future. I'm thinking about ways to do that. But for now, I've got that tripod, and I'll show you that close up in a minute. But it is made of EMT, which is electrical conduit that you find at Lowe's or Home Depot. And I'm also using a block and tackle this time, because a block and tackle, rather than just a single pulley, should give me more time, more cooking time between wind-ups. The only issue that I have with that is that it requires a lot more weight to drive the rotisserie and cause the escapement to move. This is what we have for now. I'm kind of going back in time and experimenting with these different types of escapements, and I'm looking forward to having some chicken. So what I like to do first is kind of make a platform to start the fire on. And then I guess this will just be like a regular campfire. Put my Vaseline soaked cotton balls in there. I'll take this lint that I just grabbed from the dryer, stick that in there too. There we go. Now when you first start these fire pits, there is some smoke, but once it gets going, it should clear out. So here's the tripod, and here are the legs. I've got 3 legs, and inside the leg, I don't know if I can lift it up, but probably not, there's a re-rod hammered in at an angle to fit right through this electrical conduit, which I painted. And up at the top, first I tied some paracord and kind of cinched it up with some bungee cord, and I hung the block and tackle from the paracord, but it didn't hold. My knot came out. I guess that's my fault. So I decided to grab that chain in my garage and just wrap it around a number of times and hook the block and tackle right onto the chain. So there are 2 pulleys on that part and 2 pulleys on this part down here. And it's supposed to make things easier to lift, like a lot of weight, easier to lift it. I'm afraid that my legs aren't really that strong. You can see up here we have the connectors. So my idea was to be able to transport this. A 12 or 10 foot pole wouldn't really fit in my little rice burner car, so I decided to have this telescoping way to do it, and this locks it in place. But with all this weight, this extra weight, it's a little tentative. I'm afraid that it might just break on me. So I'm thinking of going with 1 inch and 3/4 inch instead of 3/4 inch with 1/2 inch through it. And I guess we'll stuff it now, and then later stick the spit through it if it'll fit. I have some pre-drilled holes here, so I can stick a skewer, a bamboo skewer, through the, I guess through the legs maybe. This is the tricky part, finding exactly where that hole is. I haven't figured out a better way to do this yet. It should rotate with the spit now. So that part is pretty important. All right, I'm gonna get this thing going now. Looks like it's working. Once in a while I baste the chicken with the marinade that it's soaked in for 3 days, just so the skin doesn't get all dried out. Time to rewind the buckets. Better put the potatoes on before it's too late. So I'll take this homemade handle, put it on there, tighten it up, and rewind. Not this time, hon. Eat your lunch, okay? You can do it next time. Shout out to my neighbor Elmer and his wife J-Lo. Thank you for the t-shirt. It says Halo Halo, which is a popular Filipino dessert. I've never actually tried one. Looking forward to it when I can put on another 40 pounds. About 125. We need to bring it up to 165. While that's cooking, I'm just gonna set up my cot here, take a little rest in the shade. There. I'm not going to fall asleep. I'm just going to rest.
Are you sleeping?
I'm just resting my eyes. It's a crown wheel. Crown. Yes, Your Majesty. Hear ye, come gather round. Make way for the king of this cookie cutter ground. With staff in hand and a pose so grand, I announce the sovereign of this HOA land. Hear ye, the king is here. Gather round, gather near. Hear ye, he's on his way. The HOA king is here today, here today. Ring the bell, let it sound with glee, as he graces this neighborhood for all to see. Bow your heads, let your hearts be spry, for his presence here is nigh. Gather round, gather near. Hear ye, he's on his way. The HOA king is here today, today. Excuse me, my good subject. Would you happen to have any grey poupon? Kneel, that I may bestow upon thee an honor most rare, befitting thy craft and cunning. Your Majesty, I am but thy humble servant, unworthy of such lofty favor. Silence thy modesty, good fellow, for it is not humility, but wit and fortitude that hath brought thee hither. Thy resourcefulness hath kindled warmth on the coldest nights. Thy mastery at the spit hath turned simple fare into feasts worthy of kings. By these noble deeds thou hast proven thyself worthy of title and trust. I do hereby dub thee Sir David, Royal Inventor and Chief Cook of the HOA. I shall serve thee with all my heart, your majesty. Rise, Sir David, and let thy mind and hands bring comfort to this HOA and glory to my fire. And let this spring's breath be filled with the aroma of thy brilliance. It is looking nice and golden. Beautiful. That tells me it's not too close to the fire. The red thread is tied around one of the spokes there, and when it reaches 6 o'clock, I'm gonna time it to see how long it takes to get one rotation of the chicken. Starting now. That's about a quarter of the way, and it's about a minute, a little less than a minute. So 1, 2, like 4 minutes per rotation. That's pretty slow. Ooh. They might be done actually. That's pretty mushy. And this one, yeah, I think these are done. So we'll just keep them warm up here, I guess. That chicken is looking really good. It's just, the juice is just dripping right off. So far, the tripod is the easiest method I've been able to come up with to suspend some weight. But there's a lot of room for improvement here. I just started timing it. The green beans in there. It's about 15 minutes between each rewind. So that's 4 times an hour I have to rewind the whole thing. And it's taking about 5 hours to cook, so that's 20 times. I've got to come up with a better solution. I'm very pleased with how this is working. And I'm just gonna check the temperature. Not sure where to stick the thermometer. 142 there. 138, so we've got a little whiles to go still. Well, I must say I'm very pleased with this Breeo. For someone who lives in an HOA, I'm concerned about the neighbors. I don't want them to get smoked out. I tried it today. It's a weekday instead of on a weekend when everyone's home. There's a little bit of a breeze, maybe 5-10 miles per hour. And once the fire is going, it's pretty efficient. I mean, I just had that one bin of firewood, and it's been going for 4-5 hours. So it's utilizing the firewood very well. I'm pleased with that. The smoke's not bad. Especially the bigger I build the fire, it seems the less smoke there is. I always prefer to go with quality. I mean, I could buy a piece of junk from China. I'd rather not waste the $100 or whatever it is and get something that's going to last a lifetime. This has it says on the box it has a lifetime warranty, so that's a good addition to my equipment because now I can do some stuff that's more involved right here at home. That makes things a lot easier. I know it's not as nice as camping, and I will go camping, but this is a pretty cool backyard contraption, and it was fun to make. Take this off now, and we'll start by pulling this skewer out if I can. There. Okay. Now all we do is slide this out, slide this down. the moment of truth. Whew, what a long day. 6.5 hours cooking. So let's give it a nice slice and see, is it really done? Yeah, I think it is. Looks pretty moist. I don't see any pink. The proof is in the taste though, so we'll see. It might be a little bit overdone, so I'm not sure what's going on with that thermometer. Put some butter on there. Now the only thing missing is cranberry sauce. In Jesus' name, amen. Oh yeah. That is delicious. Marinating it for 3 days, really, it always helps. There, cranberry sauce. I'm trying to decide what project to work on next. There's a couple things I could do. I could try and get more time out of the contraptions somehow. Or I can make an artistic type of thing to go along with one of the escapements. Or I could make another escapement. Or I could do all three. Which one would you like to see next? I'm trying to decide. Maybe you can help me.